So being creative in Terraria can be a little bit of a hurdle for a lot of people, myself included. But sometimes creativity hits you so hard you don't even know what to do with it, and today's build, it kind of falls into that category. Legitimately, this thing looks like Dr. Seuss, Willy Wonka, and the Steampunker had a child. Hey Terraria fans, welcome back to another speed build video. Guys, in this one I am building a SKYWHEEL, and I know that sounds like nothing, but this thing is very, I guess, creatively forward-thinking, and I think really unique as its own design. And like I said at the beginning of this video, it just reminds me of a cross of all things kooky from Dr. Seuss with a bit of Willy Wonka and, of course, a little bit of that steampunk element. That said, this thing is definitely very interesting to look at. It's got a large wheel, of course. It's also in the sky, hence the name. And it also has a lot of elements with like the gears and a little chimney and a house, and it just, yeah, there's a lot going on, but I think it's a really creative design, and I think this should inspire you to kind of take some pieces of this and maybe add it into some of your future builds if you're, well, feeling a bit stuck. Now, of course, if you'd like to catch me building anything like this live, guys, you can actually do so by checking out the Twitch link down below. I typically stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's a pretty good time, and it's a very creative process, so you'll get a little bit more insights into how things come about. Additionally, if you're enjoying any of the content here on the channel, or if you're enjoying this video specifically, guys, feel free to hit the like, the subscribe, or the little dinner bell thingy so you can know when the next video hits the old YouTube universe. And of course, because it's free, it helps me out, and I very much appreciate it. Now, while this build is very creative, it's also fairly intricate and, let's be honest, a little bit insane. Basically, it means I used a lot of materials, guys, but don't worry, I will cover those all at the end of the video. So if you want to take some elements or copy the entire thing, you are able to do so because I will give you every piece of information you need around all of the materials. Right, so with that said, guys, let's actually build the SKYWHEEL, shall we? Alright guys, so with that Willy Wonka-esque Skywheel build done, I'm going to go ahead and quickly cover all of the materials like I promised at the beginning of this video. Now of course an eclectic build like this is going to have a lot of materials, so I encourage you to pause the video here if you're looking to take a closer look at the blocks or the paints that were used, and then I encourage you to pause again if you're looking to take a closer look at all the walls that were used. But to start guys, we're going to dive into the walls, which there are a lot of. Again, nothing that's too crazy in my opinion. I think a lot of this sort of makes sense. A lot of plating and a lot of wood. So we have our copper plating, our tin plating, our wood walls, including ebon wood, normal wood, boreal wood, and even some palm wood. And all these work fairly well, including with some ash wood. So you can see there's a lot of variety in the terms of types of walls when it comes to both wood and plating. We didn't use a ton of stone. We really just used some slab and some tin brick, which I don't really use very often. And then we also used disc wall here and there, along with some cog. We also used a lot of different fences, including rich mahogany, some boreal, and some iron fence. I also used some copper pipe wallpaper here and there, as well as some confetti wall as well, or midnight confetti wall, I should say. And then we used the silly pink balloon wall and the silly purple balloon wall for the sort of blimp effect in the background there, which you can, kind of see it's hidden, it's a bit painted, but the goal is to have a lot of variety in both textures and colors, and I think we achieved that. Okay, so moving on to the left side here, we have this chest that is full of our blocks and our paints. Now, I'm going to start with the blocks here because there's a lot of stuff going on here, but again, they all sort of match all of the previous walls that we showed. So you're going to have a lot of your balloon walls, your silly pink balloon, your silly purple balloon, and your silly green balloon. We also have some platinum brick wall for a bit of pipe work. And then we use some boreal wood, some normal wood, some pearl wood, some spooky wood, and some dynasty wood. So again, nothing too insane when it comes to the block selection. I think this is pretty normal in my opinion. We obviously wanted some metal areas. So these accents are going to be with tin plating, some copper plating, some palladium column, and some adamantite beam, and some cog wall. So all those form that sort of metallic look that we're looking for. And then we also went with a little bit of our topaz gemspark block in a few key places, and even a bit of smoke block. So again, guys, this should make sense when you look at it. I think there's no real reason for me to use anything else. I think you could replace some of the wood blocks in particular, perhaps with mahogany, or maybe even using more boreal than I did. But again, I leave that up to you. You guys can always swap this, but hopefully this gives you a pretty clear picture of the simplicity of the actual blocks, because of course the walls were doing a lot of the work for me when it came to texturing. So moving to the paints, guys, I do have a bit of an eclectic palette on this one. Now, granted, you're going to see orange and deep orange and yellow and red, and those are really just used in the furnace section of this build. I think it's pretty easy to see, but it's meant to be a bit of a interesting design and give a bit of a gradient, which I think we achieved. And then of course the roof on the left side is really going to be our pink and our deep pink, and we got some brown and some gray, so nothing too crazy. There are a few spots with some negative paint, which I think you should be able to pick out. And then we went with some black and some white, so nothing too crazy. It's just a bit of an odd mix compared to what I might normally make. And while I don't love the pink roof choice on the left side of the build, I do think it's fairly appropriate because it kind of leans back into this eclectic nature that I've been talking about. But yeah, that pretty much covers all of the materials, guys. Yes, there are a lot of them because of the eclectic nature of the build, but hopefully this gives you some more insight into exactly what I use. And of course, if you have any questions or concerns, if I might have missed something, for example, do leave me a comment down below. Right, so with that said, guys, and with the materials covered, let's go ahead and move on with the rest of the video. Woof, well, there you go, guys. There is our sky wheel done. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, this is a very kooky and insane and creative build. And yeah, I was definitely feeling very creative when I put this thing together. Hopefully it's not too overbearing, but I think with all the little pieces and touches, it just kind of looks really, really interesting. And it's certainly a step out of the regular sort of build that I would normally make. Now, from a physics and logic perspective, absolutely no idea how this thing would stay afloat, but that's not really my problem. Now, I think with everything going on in this build, even though I really like the way the house came out and the way the floating blimp piece underneath came out, I gotta say my favorite part is definitely the gears that connect into the sky wheel. It just has a really kind of cool cross between steampunk and between, I guess, pieces of like a train, or I don't know, just something mechanical. And I think it looks really, really good. It's supposed to be gears on the side if you guys weren't able to tell, so you're kind of looking at it from the side view. It's obviously very hard to get that sort of distinction when you're looking at a, well, 2D game, but hopefully it kind of immediately stood out to you guys, but I'm not sure. Let me know if it did. But overall, like I said, I'm really happy with the final product. I did reuse some of the old designs I've used in the past, specifically with the wheel. The middle gear part is something I used when I made our steampunk house, which if you haven't checked out, guys, you can check out right up here. And yeah, there's just a lot of really cool elements. But again, that's just my opinion, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What's the thing that stood out the most for you? What did you like? What did you maybe not like? And maybe some ideas for some builds that you would like to see in the future. Because as you know, I am always open to 2 suggestions. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. So thank you so much for watching until the end of this video, guys. And as always, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. We will see you in the next one.